guys, welcome to Better Bachelor. My name's Joker with a face for radio and a voice for print. Today, this isn't a television show review. You couldn't put a weapon to my head and make me watch this kind of crap. But I've been enjoying the backlash, and I've seen enough clips to realize, number one, yes, it's completely woke. All the women love the other women. The men are effeminate and weak and stupid. Shocking. Because this new HBO TV series, Velma, has gone completely woke, and HBO refuses to learn the lesson that we talked about all last year. You go woke, you're going to get broke, and they followed right along. My problem with this TV series, not so much the woke stuff, because it is what it is. It's how they portrayed all the men in the series as weak, effeminate, stupid, simpy, just awful. I mean, it's unwatchable. It is so bad. I'm going to just touch on some reviews here. They say the race swapped Velma labeled woke garbage. HBO Max faces massive backlash. And I'm just going to touch on this for a second because it's not just me that's saying this is bad, but a lot of other reviewers and everybody out there. And I'll kind of give you the point that makes me so upset about this stuff. Is in this, in the original cartoon, you had three males, Scooby-Doo, Shaggy, and Fred. Scooby-Doo's not in this cartoon at all, just no talking dog. The whole show was basically called Scooby-Doo. So, Then you've got Shaggy, who's now a black dude, but he's effeminate. He's simpy. Like he offers to sell his kidney to give Velma, I think it was $500. I don't want to play. I don't even want to play clips of it. It is so bad. But again, he's not a good portrayal of men, and especially not black men. He's just a poor portrayal of men, and it's so bad. This is so bad. Sorry, I just don't even know where to go with it. This is such a hot mess. And then you've got Velma's dad who's being pushed around by her mom. And of course, Daphne doesn't even have a father. It's two mothers that are gay. And then Fred, the white guy, guess what? That's right. He comes from an ultra wealthy family because he's white, of course. And he's spoiled. And he's so stupid that at one point in the show, when they they accused him of ending somebody. And Velma has a stake put in front of him. And she said, I'll prove he couldn't harm anybody. And she says, Fred, cut the steak. And he says, no, I don't want to. No, it's embarrassing, no. And then they have him try to cut a steak with the wrong end of the knife, a wrong end of the fork, eventually trying to cut the steak with a plate. And she says, see, he's so effeminate, or he's so spoiled, he hasn't even had to hit puberty yet. And then they go on to expose that he's actually hung like a baby. And that he hasn't even hit puberty left, which is embarrassing for him. And there's not a single male in this television show to even watch. But it's been called out by everybody. Now everybody is making fun of every single part of this stupid thing. But there's just, I mean, even if you're a left-leaning person that's all in on this woke garbage, wouldn't you get tired of having all men being portrayed as worthless? I mean, don't men on the left even stand up for themselves anymore? They say Velma's spin-off animated series from the Scooby-Doo franchise has been labeled as woke garbage by several netizens. Fans have taken the internet to share their frustrations about the show. Not just fans, critics as well. I've got a critic review I'll read. Primarily their displeasure, how the title character has been... they say how their displeasures about the race swap from white American to South Asian, but that's really not what everybody's complaining about. Sportskeedia gets this wrong, of course. The titular character on the show is voiced by woke activist Mindy Kaling of The Office. Let me see if I can find something that's... because, again, they're talking about the swapping, but that's not what the problem is. I just grabbed this quick article, but they keep going through about how it's about the race swap, but it isn't. It's that no one cares that the characters are different colors or are representing different things like that. What everybody's ticked off about is the characters are nothing like the original characters. They're completely different people. Well, if you change all the characters the way they look, you change the characters the way they act, you remove Scooby-Doo from Scooby-Doo, there's no mystery machine. Shaggy's not Shaggy. What is left that is actually of the original show? That's what people are complaining about. Let me just skip over that stupid article. Here's the because they just keep talking about the race swap, and that's not what people are bothered about. Critics consensus 53. That's gone up 1 point. It was 50. Audience score 7. So nobody's liking this. And even one of the top critics here from Variety, which, you know, the only people reviewing this, it seems to be that I can find that the only people that Rotten Tomatoes posts up here as top critics or critics are left-leaning. Like, I don't see any conservative top critics. So if the consensus is it's 53% with a woke, you know it's bad. They say the problem, however, and this is from Variety, who wrote this, Joshua Alston. He says, the problem, however, is this isn't the first gay Velma in the Scooby-Doo cinematic universe. She was bi, which was also modeled on a dark teen drama way back in the day. So this isn't a first. It's not that groundbreaking that she's dating women. But they say more than that, these characters are just really unpleasant to spend time with. And it starts at the top with Velma, whose selfish and misanthropic tendencies aren't diluted by her moments of vulnerability. Daphne isn't much better, and she gets one of the show's mainly absurdly convoluted backstories that suffer from being neither brisk nor interesting. Fred, meanwhile, is a mega wealthy dunce who comes across as too helpless and too hapless to grow into the ghost-busting leading man he's supposed to become. They say this Fred could get lost inside of a hula hoop, so engineering elaborate trigger traps is pretty much out of the question. Again, they played him off as so dumb he's barely breathing, just a white entitled spoiled boy. Now he says Norville is a joy, but a teetotaler deeply opposed to recreational substances, confirming that Scooby was probably his dealer, which is stupid. But Norville, if you actually watch him, he's very effeminate. He talks like with his hands all the time and holding them like this, and he's very nervous and worried about what the women are doing and what's going on, and he's just a skittish dude. That's not a great way to portray black men. But of course, again, this is a lefty article, so they're fine with having an effeminate black man. Norville as a square, substance-free square, is what passes for meta-humor in Velma, which goes out of its way to deconstruct or lampoon every aspect of the source material. Velma's famous catchphrase, "Jinkies," is contextualized as part of one of the overworked plot lines, and another character accuses her of trying to coin a catchphrase. As a joke, it kind of works. As a reference to Scooby-Doo, it adds nothing. This applies to all the dialogue, which doesn't change from all the characters doesn't change at all from character to character, each of them firing off pop culture references like a Tommy gun. Far too many of the referential jokes are about romantic comedy tropes and could be plucked as is out of Velma and dropped into the Mindy Project, another Caitlin Grandy collaboration. And I have another article here. HBO Max's Velma is getting slammed by critics and viewers. Childhood nostalgia just got old yellered. And these are kind of the most interesting and most popular takes and comments about it. They say, I don't care about the race changes, but they're not the same characters at all. There's not 1 ounce of reverence for the source material. It's got as much to do with Scooby-Doo as the Clue board game does. The show isn't for Scooby-Doo fans. Another one says, I saw the clips and tried to watch some of the first episode. It's too awful to even hate watch. Why was this even made? Did the people in it not realize it was so awful? It's very confusing. Someone else says, I grew up with the original Scooby-Doo, but it appears the writers never did. And someone else says, think of the worst thing. I like this comment, actually. Think of the worst thing you've ever seen or can remember from your entire life seeing. That's what this is like, but with someone constantly slapping you in the face and shouting, laugh now, laugh now, laugh now. And someone lastly says, a Scooby-Doo show without Scooby-Doo. It's exactly what I expected. Terrible. They just roast on this thing. But here's the thing, and here's the takeaway for this, guys, is, again, they continue to show the women are the smart ones, the women are the strong ones, the women are the funny ones, the women are the engaging, interesting ones, and the men are nothing. The men are stupid. They don't really have much to do with anything. They're the followers. They're simps. They're just nothing. And granted, that's only part of the reason why this is getting roasted. But if you remember the original cartoon, I mean, Shaggy was not the hero he was a coward, and so was Scooby, and that's what made it funny. And a lot of times they accidentally solve things, or they would have enough happen to them that the other characters could kind of figure out what's going on. And Fred was the lead. And now in this, they've taken Fred, they've taken Shaggy, they've taken Scooby out, they've made them to where they're nothing burgers. The women are supposed to be leading the way, and they end up with another woke mess. And at some point, I think even guys, even men that are, all on the woke train, even guys that are all into this stuff, at a certain point, they're going to have to be like, why is it every dude is a weak, awful, stupid human? Like, it just, at some point, you have to get tired of seeing what's supposed to be representing you as a horrible person. And I think they do. And I think they're quite secretly very angry about it. And I think these, feminist allies that are male are either just allies so they can try to, get a piece and get laid, or they, deep down, I think they actually hate women. I think they do. And I think they go along with everything, hoping that it'll get them somewhere with these women, and it doesn't. And then eventually they get angry, and then they snap. And speaking on that point, I'm going to do the dating profile of the day here for us at Local. So if you're on YouTube, join us over there. But I have a story that I'm going to be talking about here in another video. I don't know if I can get this one over here on YouTube. But if you remember, there was a guy that went out and ended the lives of 4, I think it was Ohio, college girls. Well, it turns out the girls made fun of him, and he was bullied by the popular clique and the pretty cheerleaders and everything. And so he got in shape, he got strong, he got bitter, he got angry, and then he went back to look for girls that were similar to the ones that had made him so angry, and he took revenge on them. And so the I don't think I have, let me see if I can pull my thumbnail over here so you guys can see what it's going to be, just in case you're curious. But it's literally this. They formed him into a horrible human being. I don't even know if I can get away with this thumbnail over on YouTube. They'll probably demonetize it just because I want to talk about the news. But I'm going to talk about that as well. So if you're here on YouTube and you don't see it, it means that YouTube didn't allow it. It'll be over on Locals. So please go over there and become a supporter today.